Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Wisdom Delights and good to see you. I've been actually thinking of making the video about Mercury going direct for like last few days, but I understand there's a lot of chaos was happening, a lot of negative energy around because July was like a crazy month and like I've been trying and like there's something comes up, sometimes my computer shuts off suddenly by itself and then sometimes my camera is not working, like and it's like a lot of emotional rift and emotions are going here and there, so I could feel that energy when Mercury is actually coming to go be on a point where it's going to be stationary. So currently Mercury is stationary and it is in its own sign of Gemini currently, and it is in the nakshatra of Punarvasu. Rejuvenate yourself with all the new strength, all the new power to take a step forward now, going forward in a positive direction. You know, find out some time, actually I would say at least an hour or half an hour also, if it works for you, to just sit and meditate for a while and gain all that positive energy into yourself. Whatever a lot of tussle was going on in the month of July, and as we know that a lot of chaotic energy was there. Like Mercury was going retrograde in the sign of Cancer and in the sign of water sign, sign of emotions, and retrograde shows like it was, a lot of turbulence was there. And then from July 7th till 31st, now stationary is just a 2 days period where it's gaining its strength back and going to take a leap forward. Then again, the solar eclipse was there on July 2nd, and then Venus conjunct began, and then Mars and Sun conjunction began, while Ketu and Saturn were already conjunct, like a lot of coldness, separative energy, a lot of solitude and helplessness and no support at all kind of feeling. And so I mean there was no sign of relief, and then also there was lunar eclipse again. So the whole month was a combination of emotional rift, emotional turbulence, and trying to figure out the right path and the right ways for yourself, taking that break and using that time to just mellow down and just be in your little shell kind of thing. So now what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about the Mercury going direct now, and this is actually one sign of big relief here when we are entering the month of August. So I really wanted to talk about it, and for that I first would like to quickly touch the sign of Mercury here and talk about what Mercury is and what it represents, and where did planet Mercury come from, and about the existence of planet Mercury. So it is from our ancient scriptures. From Hindu mythology, our scriptures talk about it, and the story where Mercury came from. And it is also the planet called Buddha. So Buddha, or you can say Buddha, that's the planet. Now the story goes like this, that once Chandra, the planet moon, met Tara. So Tara is the wife of planet Brihaspati, that is Jupiter. So Tara is Jupiter's wife, and once Chandra meets Tara, and he became very fascinated by Tara, and what he does is he abducts Tara, and who is the wife of planet Jupiter, and elope with her. So now then he makes union with Tara, and then Tara becomes pregnant and gives birth to the planet Mercury. So that's how Mercury came into existence. But then what happens when Mercury is born? So then Jupiter becomes very angry about it, and then he declares war against Moon. So what happens was all the gods and demigods, they go on the side of Jupiter to take part in the war. And uh, Guru Shukracharya, that is the planet Venus, with its disciples, all the demons, he goes towards the side of moon to take part in the war. So soon they realize that it's going to be a very destructive war. So what do they decide is that all the gods, they finalize that in order to end the war, they have to come to a conclusion here and intervene here. So what they do is they intervene and they return Tara to back to her husband Jupiter. So that's how the story of planet Mercury, the birth of planet Mercury, comes. Now, what are the characteristics of this planet? So the planet Mercury actually represents the combination of both male and female genders within himself. And it also is represented as being very mild and eloquent, very soft and soft kind of planet, and it is having a greenish complexion. So it also represents flexibility, and it also represents the adolescent age, like Kumara Avastha, which is called in Hindi. So the adolescent age of somewhere like the teenage kind of age, or the teenage mentalities also can be seen with planet Mercury. And planet Mercury is greatly influenced by the house it is posited in, and or what else it is like. If it is posited with any planet, he gets very much influenced with that planet, or if he's getting any aspect of any other planet, he gets influenced by that planet as well. So whatever planet he sits with or getting an aspect from, this Mercury gets very much influenced. Now in astrology, especially the Vedic astrology, Mercury is considered as the benefic planet, and unless it is joined or conjoined with a malefic planet, in which case Mercury also becomes a malefic planet. So planet Mercury rules over the sign of Gemini and Virgo, and it is exalted in its own sign of Virgo and debilitated in the sign of Pisces. And Mercury is friendly with the planet Saturn, planet Venus, and it is enemy with the planet Moon, Mars, and Jupiter, and it is neutral towards other planets. Now, Mercury is the lord of three nakshatras in the 27 nakshatras, total of 27 nakshatras. So these are Shalesha, Jeshta, and Revati nakshatras. And the color that is represented by Mercury is green, and the metal that is represented by Mercury is brass. And the gemstone which is usually recommended if Mercury is auspicious in your chart, or if you want to get the auspicious results of this planet, so that is emerald. Now Mercury, what things does it represent? It represents duplicates, it represents copying things, duplicating things, producing doubles and couples of things. So the couples, especially when it's siblings, like two of the siblings represented by Mercury, and sibling figures like teammates, your teammates at work, your office mates, as players, when they come together in teams, that is represented by the planet Mercury. So anything related with the two double things and all that, set of two, that is also that is represented by Mercury. And other things that is related by Mercury and represented by it is like writing, announcement, telling the news. Like it's the sign of Gemini, right? So the third house, those things come into play here. So it is also representing intelligence. It represents intellectual thinking abilities, communications, analysis abilities, understanding, sensing things. And it also represents the subjects of science and especially mathematics. And also people who have good Mercury, they have a very good business sense. That is also something that can be seen in with good Mercury. And with good education, Mercury plays a very good role here. And it also represents the areas of research. Now, also with the handy thing, like again, as I said before, the third house, it's a sign of third house, the sign of Gemini. So it also represents the third house things, that is handcrafts and doing things by hand, being dexterous, and all those kind of thing, that eagerness to learn comes into play. Curiosity, people who gossip a lot sometimes can be seen when they have a very afflicted and bad Mercury. So argumentative people, gossiping and a lot of talking, and people who are curious about other people's affairs, that is also can be seen with the planet Mercury here. Now also the third house also relates with the planet Mercury, the way it is. So that's how planet Mercury also represents small businesses, small commerce, trades, cooperations and collaborations with people. That can be seen here. Consulting works and all those things can be seen here. Now, sales and marketing professions can be seen with planet Mercury, and people who are very clever and shrewd, and sometimes it also shows with bad Mercury. You also see people are very discriminatory, and but other on the other side, when it's good, it also shows the awakening, like spiritual awakening also can be seen here, as also because it is also called Buddha is the Lord Buddha himself. So that's how the we see that name also is given to the planet Mercury. So now I'm going to be talking about Mercury going direct, as it is already started its direct motion after July 31st, by today, like August 1st and so on. Now it's going to enter the sign of Cancer, and it's going to join the other planets that are already there in the sign of Cancer. That is Sun, Venus and Mars. So that is going to be a very crazy, heavy energy there in the sign of Cancer. A lot of emotional stuff is still happening, but at least with the sign of Mercury getting direct, there's a lot of relief that we are all going to feel at this point. Again, Mercury is going to be acting like other planets there when it is very closely come in close contact with the other planets here in the sign of Cancer. But then going forward, by somewhere like August 7 and 8, the planets will start to move towards the sign of Leo. So a lot of creative energy, emotional energy, love, romance, and new things, and all that recreation kind of activities can be seen here. Now, let me open up that software of JHora so that I can, bring this up in front of you. You can take a look how the planets look like in your own birth chart. What are the transits happening, and what are the positions of those planetary transits? So just give me a moment here. Let me take it up. So. So there you go. So what I have done here, I have actually selected August 5th here, like entering into the month of August. We see here sun is already in Cancer at 15 degrees by August 5th. Moon will be at 27 degrees. Mars will be somewhere 25 degrees. So I have selected Aries Ascendant here. For all the Aries Ascendant, I'm going to be talking about that. Now here you see Mercury is in the sign of Cancer, and it's lording the sign of Gemini, the third house and the sixth house. Now, before I talk about it, I also want to mention that all these four planets here are going to be transiting to the sign of Leo in for Aries ascendants in their fifth house, and it is all the energy is going to do with their homeland, routines, parents, comfort, and security. They're going to be talking about defense here. They're going to be talking about protection, and routine culture, because the third house also represents the routine of things, and then it is into your home culture, and also it is also related with the children, right? Or your public persona, your charm, your politics. But if you are into politics, that's going to be little tough here, kind of, because sun also is going to its 12th sign from the fifth house here now, and then Mercury is conjunct sun. Now also you can see for children also it's going to be little difficult, a tough time, if they have this kind of planetary positions going on at this point of time. So you also can see that, things related to your comforts, your home, especially in the sign of Cancer for Aries, and it's going to give like a double, triple, and four times, I can say like multiple times effect, because you see Mercury is going to get double the effect, because whatever planets is sitting in, and then again on with the sign of Cancer, already all the four planets are in the sign of Cancer, and the sign of Cancer for Aries ascendant itself is the fourth house. So all the things are here, like Mercury, or fourth house and Cancer, and all that is like representing the energy of the fourth house, and it representing the energy of the emotions, like it representing the mother, like health of the mother needs to be taken care of at this time. And like all the routine things, homeland, and if you are thinking of like buying a home, or what needs to be done, that those actions needs to be taken at this point. I mean, good planets are, we can see it's like a good energy, and at the same time it's like a little bit of negative energy here. When four planets are sitting together, they are having a tussle in between who will win and who wants to have the edge here. So be very careful with all those things that I mentioned. So then rest, everything should be good. Now you can also at this point, now when I said like the planets are here, like four planets are going to be moving to the sign of Leo, and they will be touching the Gandanta point. That is, Gandanta point is actually the point of where two signs, that is the Cancer and the Leo sign, they are joining together in between the degrees of 29 degrees of Cancer and 0 degrees of Leo. So when these planets will be transiting that Gandanta points, there is a high chance that you will feel like a lot of new things, lot of untying of knots will be happening. You would see that the things that were stuck before, you would see the new horizons, the new kind of options will be opening up for you. You also can see that things you did not realize coming up your way. I mean, already feeling that energy, that suddenly the things that were stuck, you were waiting for so long, and suddenly happening. If you are looking for promotions, that is happening. If you're looking to get into a relationship, and like opening up for that, that is happening. But it is also a very auspicious time in terms of the spiritual growth, because all these four planets are going to be passing through that Gandanta point and entering the sign of creative energy, the creation, like the sign of Leo. It's like gives you a lot of power and strength, and all the rejuvenation. You have already dealt with all the things that you were lacking before, and you were thinking of taking some right actions, and you were not able to do that. So now this is a very auspicious time, and if you want to make sure that your this coming time period of a month or two coming forward, when all the planets are in Cancer and moving towards the sign of Leo, if you want to increase the auspiciousness of this time, and gain some very good results out of it, the best thing you can do is meditate and chant, and try to connect with the higher universe, the cosmic energy. Because the sign of Cancer, like these planets are in the sign of Ashilesha here. Also you can see that the relationship within the family, because the sign of Taurus, like the planet Venus is representing here the Taurus here, all, and on the seventh house also, the second and seventh house are in effect at the same time. So I would say like first, second, and third house, and then all the planets are sitting in fourth house, and then Sun is the lord of the fifth house here, and then again Mercury is lording the sixth house, and Venus, which is joining all the other planets here in the fourth house, is the lord of seventh house. So like the first seven houses, like you would see things related to your marriage, things related to your family and children, things related to your home comforts, and also health can be a real thing here. You have to make sure that you be aware of the checkup, and health checkup is done properly and in time. So this is all for Aries ascendants. What I would say is, you guys, sit and some do some mantra chantings. The best mantra, if you can chant here, is of the Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. So the best mantra I would say is, for I mean that is, I would recommend here for everyone here right now, not specifically to the Aries ascendant only, because fourth house, sign of Cancer is the sign of planet Moon, and the sign of Leo is the sign of planet Sun. Now both Moon and Sun is like the represented by Lord Vishnu himself, because with the Moon, it represents the incarnation of Lord Krishna, and with Sun, it represents the incarnation of Lord Rama. So I would say the chant of mantra of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is a very good mantra. At this point, all the people should be doing it, especially during this month of August. It's very auspicious. I would just say, just chant and keep doing it. Now let's go to the sign of Taurus. For Taurus ascendants, now for Taurus ascendants, the Mercury here is in the sign of um, like Cancer in third house, and it lords the second house and the fifth house here. Now it is, again, it will talk about the third house is all related to your siblings, your team members, your commerce, trade, business, small business. And it talks about reporting things and administration tasks and all that repetitive work. And now it will also talk about the communications, and if you are into some sales job or sales position, that's what it will be concerning time at the same time, because it might give you some good opportunities also to grow in your career. Because what I believe is, like, do come what may, whatever profession you choose, everything you do in life has to do with sales, and Mercury plays a very important role here. Whether you open up your own business, whether you do a job like where you are, or whether you have to do administrative tasks, like every time you have to sell. Like either you are selling a product, or you are selling a service, or you are selling yourself, because the way you are selling yourself is you are wanting to make sure that every time you present yourself in a very accurate manner. If you are, let's say, if you're in an administrative task, like you have to do the repetitive job, you have to show every time, you have to prove that you are the best, you are doing the right job, you are doing the right thing. And that is what I call like selling yourself every time, again and again, in the same job. Once, like, let's say if you stop performing, you stop doing well, that means you're not selling your qualities very well. So nobody wants to buy what you have to offer. If you're not offering your service in a proper manner, nobody wants to buy it, right? So Mercury plays a very, very important role here again. So then what it does is, like in the sign of Cancer here in third house, it is more about being very accurate in things, make sure that you are doing your things right. Other planets are involved. Sun and Mars are very aggressive planets here. Fire energy is there. So don't get into any kind of uh, uh, like very aggressive kind of communication with your colleagues, with your coworker. And it also may the you can also feel like the stress of the family is going towards your work. You're not able to concentrate the work very well. The stress related to children might affect. But at the same time, again, as I said, like it's going to give you a lot of new opportunities to take your business or your work, or if you're in job, or working into like a working for another company, like like a high chances that you are going to hear some good news. Like there are opportunities coming ahead which will give you some opportunity to have a growth in your career. So that is about the Taurus ascendant here. Now let's go to Gemini ascendant. So now for Gemini ascendant people, again, don't forget about that thing that I mentioned about here, is that The Gandanta point, again, it is very crucial point. I will repeat it again and again for all the ascendants, because as I said, I might be splitting this video into 3 to 4 parts to upload it. So I don't want, if you're not listening to the first part of it, I don't want you to miss it. So for Gemini ascendant people, now, this Mercury is again going to be playing its role in the family, in the history, in the kind of banking and treasures, like your investments. If you talk about your family values and family resources, it's going to talk about your wealth is going to be a big concern here. You're going to be worried about where to invest, like what to do with your family wealth, how to split it. Do you want to really split it, or do you want to conjoin the family assets together now at this point? And then how to preserve the family assets and values, those can be things that are concerning at this point, because again, Mars is there, and the energy of sixth house is present in the second house, and then fifth house, again, all those houses, I would say. And especially it is time when you can also gain some kind of property, or like those kind of things, because Mercury here is lording the first house and the fourth house, and then again Mars is joined at this sign of Cancer. Now all those things are very important, as at this point people, you guys can be worried about, like what, how to invest the things, how to invest your family assets, some family property, and the banks, if there might be some things that might be happening in the banking area, if you want to move the funds from one account to another account, there might be some opportunities, good opportunities that might come your way, where the banking professional may suggest some kind of new investment things for the whole family property, or the whole family money and values. So that's something you should be looking forward to, and I think this might give you a very favorable results, because Mercury here is in the sign of Cancer in second house, and then when Mars is joined here, it's the Lord of the 11th house, and 11th house talks about the financial gains, and the second house is also talks about the finances, and so this is going to be a good combination here, and Mercury is going to be bringing the favor while it's direct at this point. So that's what I would say here. Now, again, chant the mantra, because Lord Ram and Lord Krishna, both, they represent the moon and the sun. Moon is the sign of Cancer, and the planets will be moving to the sign of Leo. So the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is very, very auspicious during this time, when planets are moving from the fourth sign of Cancer to the fifth sign of Leo, over the Gantanta point. As I mentioned in the like before, I don't want you guys to miss that part. If you're only listening to your own, if you're only listening to your own sign, so just take that into consideration.